Hey everybody, this is Erica from In the Company of Cards. If you're new, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. And happy Monday. This will be brief because I've been pretty busy today. Um, but I just wanted to look at a couple of things. So we have, I think the two things I want to look at. One is this war with Iran. We are now blockading the Strait of Hormuz that Iran is also blockading, and it was not blockaded at all until we decided to put our big footprint over there. So I just want to know about next steps. What is the next step in this war of the felon's own making? So for war, I'm going to use the site and let's just see what we get. I know someone had asked me a while ago. I think it was the not this last, not yesterday, but time before when I was soliciting viewer questions, and they asked me, was this going to be a short war or a long war? And what I saw was not short. Um, they asked me, was it going to stretch into 2027, 2028? And I saw that it was. But, you know, events and time are mutable and free will is a thing. So let's just see if anything has changed for the better on that horizon. So I'm going to look for the site and see what we get. I'm just going to do a couple of questions today, and then I'll be back again on Wednesday night with Lena. Thank you for all the questions yesterday. That was fun. I hope you enjoyed it. Um, all right, what am I looking for at the site? Okay, so there's our site. Okay. So here's you know who. We have the tower, the scythe, the key, and the star. Um, I know what I want to say, but I'm not sure that that's necessarily accurate. So what I'm going to do is pull some clarifiers. Um, and I'm pulling clarifiers for everything, I think. Got ink all over my table. I'll clean it by the next time we're together. Uh, okay, it should be enough. Okay, we have you know who feeling isolated and alone. He doesn't know what to do. He's just isolated among presidents, isolated among nations. He's made us practically a pariah state. In the center is the war. But we have two really good cards at the end. We have the key and we have the star. That's interesting. Of course, the star is hope. The key is, a yes. I think that he is still delusional, even though he's feeling all alone. I think he feels like he can solve this. He alone can fix it, as he says. Um, the tower and the key mirroring each other, I find very interesting because it's making me think that he's not the one that's going to fix it, but that his isolation, both in the world and the fact that his circle is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and we'll talk about why that is in a second, is key to ending this war. Uh, I, well, when he goes, the war will be over. But anyway, that's cutting to the end here. Here we are hit with him. It's the first card. Clarifiers, the stork, the bouquet. So he thought, this will be great. It'll be a great distraction from Epstein. I will be hailed as a hero, lauded and praised and awarded. But how'd that work out? It didn't. The snake is a problem. He has just created this quagmire for himself and for us. So here he is, all alone, feeling isolated, acting in really weird, childish ways. We'll get to that in a minute. Um, so his reputation has kind of gone. It's not what it was. And again, that'll be the second question that I'm going to look at. But he is a man alone. Here we have the war, and I would love to tell you that this is the war stopping, but I don't think that. I think this is war kind of not ending, in fact, without more pain and an unknown end. So this is where we are in the current moment. So don't worry because there are more cards where these came from. I just think that we're at this stalemate, right? Everything was open. He decides to start a war. Iran, understandably, blocks uh, the strait. We decide we're going to go block the strait. It makes no damn sense because it's already blocked. What are you doing? And there's this stalemate that's causing nothing but pain and confusion and indecision and just lack of clarity. So currently, nobody knows where this is going to go, but we can look a little bit into the future. So here we have the key, and I love the key. The key answers questions. So what is the answer? We have the scales, we have clover, and we have mice. Well, justice needs to prevail fast before things erode even more. So there is that need for that. Fifth card is the star. We have the woman, the bear, and the fish. This is hope. It wouldn't surprise me if Melania was not encouraging him to take the money and run because I can mirror this fish card with him. And I think I said this, if not yesterday, the day before, that I think he'll be incentivized to leave before his term is over. I think that Iran will not be open to any kind of peace negotiation while he is in office. That's what I think. Uh, Again, not that Vance is that much better, but uh, I think there is a relatively clean slate in regard to just this particular issue when the felon is no longer in the White House. So, for the foreseeable future, there will be this confusion, this sort of lack of direction. I guess you know what would be worth looking at because I heard him make some noise this morning um, about instituting the draft. We already know that people are, young men between the ages of 18 and 25 are going to be automatically signed up for selective service, but that's not the same thing as a draft. He cannot unilaterally call a draft. He can't do that. Um, will there be a draft? I'm going to use the letter, and that will stand for draft papers. Child of Vietnam as I am, People would burn their draft cards. All right, so that's the letter will stand for draft notices. Will there be not just registering for selective service, will there be a draft? Okay, so we're using the letter. I don't know how my cards got all turned around because I usually keep them all right side up. So that's weird. Okay, so this stands for a draft. Okay. Um, we have the moon, we have the woman again, we have the letter that stands for a draft, we have the scales, and we have the key. I think he will try to enact one, but again, he cannot do that. That is not within his purview to to do that. Um, and I think that what this means is that whoever still hasn't gotten it yet and doesn't understand who it is we're dealing with, they will get it then when their sons get a draft notice. All those MAGA young men will get it when they get their draft notices. They'll say, "Oh, okay, we're not here for this." Mm-mm. Um, we have the letter, which is the draft notice, like instituting a draft, the heart, the star, and the scythe. He will try to say, oh, it's the patriotic thing to do. It's for our future. It's for your children's future that you have to go and fight. That's why that site there's um, because there's a war. Fourth card is the scales, clover, garden, and stork. I think pretty quickly the scales will be rebalanced quickly, and that the public, which way more of the public will have woken up than is currently awake, will say, we need somebody better than this. We need something better than this. This guy has done nothing but broken promises and made our lives hell. So we want something better. So the answer will be, I think he will be sacrificed because he's a problem. And I think it will be his circle. He could be 25th Amendmented for this. These are people who were previously loyal to him, but no longer. Not with that cross and that snake there. And that's the answer to a lot of our problems will be his exit from the stage. So I don't think 25th Amendment is out of the question. Um, and then I guess the final thing I want to look at, just a few minutes left, is I want to look at, yeah, okay, so you saw the picture that he tweeted of himself, uh, clothed in robes, I'll just say, right? That was not a doctor's outfit that he was wearing, right? It was a white gown covered by a red cloak. When's the last time you saw a doctor walking around looking like that? That's what he was wearing. And he had in his hand like a ball of light. And there are celestial beings in the form of soldiers, I guess, I don't know, around him. Anyway, he said, so of course, I mean, anybody with a brain knows that it was meant to depict the felon as Jesus healing a sick man. He's trying to say that's not what it was, that it was him dressed up as a doctor. A doctor? I mean, nice attempt at a pivot, but we know that Jesus healed the sick. And we know that in this painting, um, the felon is holding, again, as I said, a ball of light, like healing energy. What kind of doctor does that? I mean, where's the scalpel? Where's the pill bottle? Where's the prescription pad? Where's the stethoscope? Where's the, you know, oxygen mask? So he thinks people are stupid. Uh, and of course, he insulted the Pope. So I just want to know, will his sacrilege, his religious, I mean, disparagement of religion, meaning Christianity, will that sink him altogether? Will that sink him? Will that be the thing that takes him down? Let's look for him in the deck and see what we get. And, we're looking at him, but again, with an eye towards what he said about the Pope and that stupid picture. So that's him. He is being judged. And these antics have dragged him down. An anchor can keep you safe, that's true, but an anchor can also sink you. He's in the center. The fourth card is the tree. I can mirror that with the second card. His health clearly has taken a dive, the mental health anyway, right? And of course, because he's a narcissist, everybody's reaction to his stunts, both the picture talking badly about the Pope and then the whole fiasco with the DoorDash driver. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. I mean, he is really being maligned and made fun of, and that is going to cause his health to deteriorate fast. He is being quickly judged and found wanting. Here he is. Clarifiers are the tower, the cross, and the bouquet. So he is a man isolated and alone, causing pain to everybody, and there needs to be some kind of remedy for this. The tree is the fourth card. This is his health. This is what people are thinking about him. What people? The public. And then we have the card for the future. So people are really saying, wait, we have 2 years, two more years of this? That's what people are asking. And who is asking it more than others? So we have Clover and we have this young man. Now, I will tell you that having sent Vance to um, Hungary and then Orban having lost his election in a rout, I mean, he was hammered, didn't make Vance look good. I think that the felon knew that Orban was going to lose. And I think that he sent Vance over there so that Vance would look like also a loser. And I think that the person who is going to try and um, rival Vance for the 2028 spot will be Marco Rubio. Secretary of State, why wasn't he over there in Hungary? I think this stands for both men, Vance and Rubio. Now, we have the lily, and that's, it's a card of peace. That's great. But this is also the card for sex. And we have the woman card again. So I suspect that between his alienation of Catholics around the world and starting a war and doing everything else that he's doing, I think that, again, he will be, this is a card for an old man as well, an old senile man. I think arrangements are being made to incentivize the felon to go. Like they'll say to him, we can say, it's your health. You know, you'd like to spend time with your family, with your grandchildren. You'd like to spend more time playing golf. And you feel as though, now is a good time to leave the stage, even though, of course, he never wants to leave the stage. And I think they will give him money to leave. That's what I think. And then I think it'll be a battle royal, even though, of course, Vance will take over and finish the term. It will become a battle royal between Vance and Rubio for um, the top slot on the Republican side. So there you go. I'm not going to read on Swalwell. We see that both Swalwell and the Republican Gonzalez are both leaving Congress, as they should. I had some viewers, a couple of men saying, oh, a lot of times women will come up with false charges against men. And I wrote back to one of them and I said, I am certainly not here saying all men are no good. I'm saying not all men, but somehow always a man. And the fact that Swalwell is not just dropping out of the California governor's race, but is leaving Congress. Um, if these charges did not have some merit, he would fight them, but he can't fight them. So there you go. I mean, there is neither party has entirely clean hands. That's just a fact. But, we'll talk about this more on Wednesday night when I'm here with Lena. That is just to remind you, it's 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific time. And Lena from Lena Down Under and I get together and talk. We call it Worldview 360. And we'll be talking about some of these issues. It's live, so you can put questions in the comments if you want. We may or may not get to them. But we'll probably talk more about the Swalwell thing, about this insult to Christians and Christianity and Catholicism on the part of the felon, and whatever else happens between today and Wednesday. So if you're looking for me tomorrow, you can find me always on Substack on Tuesdays. That's where I write. My writing is free to read. I'd love it if you'd subscribe. That would be great. Um, and I will see you here on the screen on Wednesday. So take care. Thank you for all your likes, shares, comments, and I really appreciate it. Okay.